Hey guys, Crystal here at Crystal's Crafties. Today we are going to be doing a Mother's Day project here in Cricut Design Space. I have done every bit of this in Design Space. I haven't had to go to any outside program because Design Space has some new features that we can use. So let's get started on how we did this. Our basic thing is going to be the mom first, and then we're going to come in and put the kids' names underneath. I will link to this font and show you how to use it. It's that super popular I Love Glitter font. And then I will link to the paper that I have used for this word mom. Okay, so I'm going to hide. Well, let me group all this together first. Group. And then I just want to hide this so that you're not watching so it's not in the way as I'm doing the video. Okay, so let's get our text, mom. So come over here. Click your text tool and then type in the word mom. Okay, so I have put it in all caps, and the font that I would like to use for this is called Franklin Gothic, and I do this heavy one right here. Now this should be a system font for anyone with a Windows computer. It should just be already installed on your computer. You shouldn't need to go search for this anywhere, but if you don't have it, I am sure you can find something similar to it in Design Space. Okay, so there's my word. Now I need to get the floral pattern in it. So to do that, we are going to use a pattern. So I click on my word here, and I'm going to take it from a cut to a print then cut. And I'm just going to click this standard option here. Okay, now nothing happened yet. Click your color box. And right now it's just a color. You can change it to these different colors here. Or if you click inside this color here, you can go to pattern. And then you can choose your pattern. Here is the floral pattern that I used. Now stick around to the end of this video and I will show you how to upload patterns into Design Space so that you can do that too. If you don't like the way it looks, you can edit your pattern. So I'm going to click this little question mark up here again, and I'm going to come down to Edit Pattern. And you'll see it pulls it up here for me on my M, and I can scale this up to make my flowers much larger. I can rotate things, move them side to side, up and down. All kinds of different things I can do. Okay. So that the flowers are a little bit bigger now that I have resized that pattern there. Okay, so we don't need this O in the middle. We're going to put that heart there instead. So now that we've turned this into a print then cut, we can come over here and we can ungroup each letter. So I'm going to click ungroup, and I now have 3 separate letters I can pick or choose from. Don't want this O, so I'm just going to delete it, and it's gone now. Come over here to your shapes, get yourself a heart, and put that in wherever you want it to be. I kind of had mine tilted a little bit. That's probably a little big. Just play with things and see where you want them to be. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there for now. One thing I want to make certain though is as I was moving these 2 M's, I want to make sure they didn't get out of alignment. So I've clicked my first one, hold shift, click my second one, and I'm going to come up here to align. I'm going to align the bottom of those, and they did move just a little bit, so I'm glad that I did that. Okay, so now everything is perfectly lined up. Let's fill this heart with the pattern. So it's a cut right now. We're going to change it to a print then cut, and then we're going to change this color box from a color to a pattern, and we'll select our pattern. Okay, I'm going to edit the pattern because I did on the letters, so I want to edit it on the heart as well and make it a little bigger so that everything looks kind of uniform. Okay, so we've got this started, but we really need to make that heart stand out. So we kind of added a background to it and we sliced it out of the ends. Let's work on that. This is the new tools that Cricut has added for us. We can offset now, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, so I've selected my heart, click the offset, and it will show you where it's going to offset. That is way, way too big. I'm going to knock this down to a 0.05. That's good. We just need a little tiny bit of an offset. So I'm going to hit apply. Okay, and I don't want it to be a black color. I want it to be more subtle, like these dark, dark grays that are in the pattern that we chose. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click my heart, and it's a print then cut because the thing that we offset was a print then cut. So that's good. We're going to stay there, but we are going to change its color. And it has already selected this, or already put this light gray into my design for me, so I'm going to use that there. Okay, that's looking better. Now we need to attach these two together. We need to make this one item instead of a patterned heart on top of a solid heart. So to do that, I'm going to come over here to this tab. I'm going to select my patterned heart, hold Shift, and select my solid heart, and then I'm just going to hit flatten. Now what flatten does is it tells your machine, okay, I'm going to print this, and I don't want to cut out two separate shapes. I only want to cut out one shape, and it's going to be the shape on the bottom that will get cut. When we're done, we're going to flatten this whole project so that when we do send it to our Cricut to cut it, it doesn't cut out each individual little thing. It will cut out the whole design as one. Okay, so we've got this going now. We need to kind of slice the heart out of each side of the M, and let me show you how I want to do that. Take your heart here and just duplicate it. Let's get another one, because we need to make another little bitty offset for it. So offset, and it's another tiny one, so that's perfect. I'm going to leave that offset just like it is. Apply. Now I don't need this one anymore. I can get rid of this guy. What I need is this to slice out of my M's. Okay. So you want to line it up exactly where you had your other heart. If you want to make sure that it is exactly lined up, you can come to Arrange and send it to the back, and you can see, let me change its color so that we can make it like really, really noticeable. Okay, so it's red now. You can see that red duplicate that I just created and the offset that I created for it is behind my original heart. Let's hide my original heart. So I'm going to come over here. Okay. We don't want to delete him. We need him. But we want to hide him for now so that we can work with this guy to slice out of the M's. Okay. Click your heart, hold Shift, click your first M, and slice. Now don't do anything else. Just leave everything where you have it, because if you move something, it's going to get out of alignment. Click your heart, hold Shift, click your next M, and slice. Okay, so now we can start moving these pieces away. Watch this. And this guy. Okay, so we have that heart sliced out of our M's now. Remember the one that we hid that we said we're going to use later? Let's come unhide it. All right. And now you just simply line everything up. I'm going to get both of my M's, and I'm going to align the bottoms just like I did before. And that means I'm going to need to move my heart down a little bit. I'm going to use the arrows and just kind of make sure he is right where I want him to be. Come on, guy. No, I think this M is going to need to be a little bit closer. There we go. Okay. That is done. Now, remember what I said? We need to flatten this whole thing together so that it doesn't get weird at the end. Select everything, and let's attach it for now, and then we can flatten. Okay, this is now one object. You see it up here? It's flattened. It's this whole thing that's flattened, and when we print it, it's all going to print together. Okay. You can just ignore this step that's here. This was that first one that I did. Remember I said I was going to hide it all? Okay, now it's time to put the names in. So come over here to text. And remember, this time we're going to use this I Love Glitter font. And again, I'll link to that. If you don't have it, I'll show you where to get it. But right now, let me show you how to use it. Okay, so we're going to put some tails and some fancy extras on this font. To get the left tail, you just hit your left bracket on your keyboard. It's right beside the P, left bracket. Okay, let me get my first name. There's the first name, and now I wanted that heart, that little fancy heart part. To get that, you want to hold Shift and hit the little divider key. I'm not sure what that's called. It's right above the Enter or the Return key on your computer. It's just that straight bar line. So that's going to give you your heart. Now I can add the next name and another heart, Shift and divider, the next name and a heart, and then my name. And then I want the ending swirl like I put at the beginning, but I just want the opposite. So now I'm going to hold my right bracket. Or I'm sorry, I'm just going to click my right bracket. I know you can't see it, but it's there. Okay. I'm going to reduce the size of my screen so that you can see all of that. See, there it all is. Now we need to connect our letters. So if you just come to your letter spacing right here and start lowering it down until you get everything connected. Okay, all of my sisters' names are going to connect and mine is not. That's okay. So that's all looking really good, but my name is still not connected. I don't want to take these down any further because they will start to overlap. So now what I need to do is ungroup this text and move each letter individually by itself. Let me get the T. Got everything all out of order. A and the L, and then my little swirl. Okay. I think that I need to move my A and my L down just a little bit. They kind of got out of alignment. There we go. Now you want to weld all of this together so that it becomes one solid object. Drag a box around, weld. Okay, make sure when you do this, do you see how the K and the E filled in? That's because I put them too close together when I was lowering the spacing between letters. So undo this. And spread them out just a tiny, tiny bit. So what did I need to move out? My K and my E. Okay, let's see how that does. I'm going to select everything again and weld. That got it. That's perfect. Okay, so Kay and Jackie Crystal. Those are the daughters of my family here, my mom's kids. Okay, and we want to change this color to match this pretty pink that's in our design. So, first of all though, we need to change this from a cut to a print then cut, and then we can change its color to this pink. And we'll shrink it down. I know this looks really small, but remember that's because I shrunk the size of my screen. Let me put that back up. Okay. So there's this, and I want to center everything. So I'm going to drag a box around all of it and align and center. and attach. Okay, so you might be done at this point. It just depends on what you're going to do with this. My plan is to print this onto water slide paper and put this water slide design into a picture frame for my mom. And what I don't want to happen is for my Cricut to come in here and try to cut each of these letters individually. They're teeny, teeny, tiny, and that would be a nightmare for my Cricut to try to do that. But no matter what I do, even if I flatten this whole design together, when I flatten, I'm telling my machine, cut the outer edges of everything. So this is what it's going to cut, and it will try to cut the outer edges of these names. Now, if you're printing onto something else or you're making a different kind of project, you don't need to worry so much about this. But for me, I don't want that to happen. So what I need to do is make a small offset to go around every bit of this. So I'm going to select it, offset. It's thinking about it. Okay, you can see what I'm talking about now. This offset is where my Cricut would cut. And I need it to be, you know, a little bit bigger so that I'm not trying to cut into these words so detailed. Let me take it up just a little bit. Let me see, maybe 0.07. How does that look? Okay, that's probably going to be big enough that my Cricut doesn't have such a hard, detailed time cutting this out. So I'm going to hit apply. I don't know what Cricut did there. It's having some thinking errors, but I'm going to change my offset to white. And I'm going to flatten everything again. I know you can't see the offset behind here. I don't know what Cricut did, but when I hit make it, I'm sure you'll be able to see. Okay, so I'm going to hit the make it now. I'm not going to hit the make it now. It's too big. Shrink you down. Okay, and let me try that now. Okay, there it is. And the reason I chose white is because it won't actually print the white. It's printing on white paper, so it won't print the white around it. You won't actually see it. It'll just make a thicker line for my Cricut to cut. This is what will cut onto my water slide paper, and then I will put it on the picture frame for my mom, and that's a whole nother project, so I'll show you that in a different video. All right, let's see here. Let me show you, like I said, I was going to show you how to get these. I can delete this whole thing because I already have the one saved that I want to use. Let me show you how I got this pattern in here. So it's super cool how you get a pattern. You're going to come to upload, and instead of upload image, you're going to upload pattern and browse. And I have a whole folder full of digital paper, and digital paper is what I use for my patterns here. This is actually the flowers that I had in my design. Let me find a different one that I haven't uploaded yet so that you can see what it will look like when you do it. Here's a pretty one. So I open and then just upload because it's saving this as a pattern. Now watch, if I take a heart, let's see here, and I want to, let me scroll down here, fill this heart with a pattern. Remember the steps we took? We turned it into a print, then cut. Then we took our color box and we turned it to pattern. That pattern is now in there. Click it. And it fills that heart with the pattern. Super, super pretty. I think I might actually like that better. I might need to redo this project. Anyways, okay. So that is all that I have for you guys today. We'll see you next time.